Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be a really interesting kind of period related video, and that is going to be the struggle of showering and bathing on your period. Literally, I feel like this is something that no one ever talks about, like on any platform, about how hard it is and what a struggle it is to shower and bathe when you're on your period. So this video is going to be 3 parts. I'm going to be kind of just talking about the struggle in general, also giving you guys some tips and tricks, and I also put a question box on my Instagram story for you guys to ask questions about showering and bathing on your period. I was actually inspired to make this video off of a question that I got on my TikTok Q&A page. Here's the video. I was basically answering a question about like how do you shower and bathe on your period, and I went over it very briefly in that like 60-second TikTok video. So then it really inspired me, and I even said at the end of that TikTok video that I wanted to sit down and make a whole video about it. So before we get into this video, please like this video and comment down below why you're here, because I'd really love to know, did you like search this up, or do you just like period videos in general? You thought this was gonna be interesting? Have you gotten your period yet? Or are you still waiting to get your first period and you just want to get prepared? And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because if you didn't know, I do so many other period videos. So I will link some down below that I think you might like. And yeah, I don't want to talk anymore. I want to get into this video and talk about the struggle of showering and bathing on your period, and then provide you guys with some tips and tricks on showering and bathing when you're on your period. I have my computer here because I just wrote down some like notes of what I want to cover in this video, and also the tips and tricks I'm going to be sharing with you later on in this video. So honestly, this struggle, okay? I mean, let me just lay it out for you. So when you're on your period, you're obviously... And so if you aren't wearing a pad, you're gonna bleed out of your underwear. The average person does not like free bleed. The average person wears a pad or a tampon or some sort of period hygiene product to control the blood flow, and then just strip it all off and get in the shower. It's such a struggle because like you're worried that you're gonna leak on the floor like before you step into the shower, and then when you're getting out of the shower, oh my god, it's like such a struggle if you don't like know what to expect and everything. I feel like when you have a period, everything is like, it seems like it'll just go normally like how it does when you're not on your period, but honestly, like even sleeping, like every single daily activity is really influenced by your period. Showering and bathing is honestly, like, I don't want to come on here and tell you that it's not a struggle. Like, I titled this video The Struggle because it's such a struggle to shower and bathe without a pad or a tampon on or something like that when you're
gushing blood out of your body.
So I totally understand, and I'm still getting used to it. And what's so ironic is that you actually want to shower and bathe more when you're on your period. Maybe that's just a personal preference, but I feel like when you're sitting in your blood all day and you're just like kind of messy down there with all the blood, you really want to feel fresh and stay clean. So I feel like it's more important than ever to shower when you're on your period, or to have a bath when you're on your period, but it's even more complicated to do those things when you're on your period. I can reassure you on one thing though about the struggle. If you have not gotten your period yet, or if you're kind of just new to periods in general, your period is not like a faucet, like a sink faucet where like you turn on the tap and it's just like running and like you can't stop it. The period blood comes out gradually, and yes, there will be moments where like a bunch of blood just like comes out, or like a clot comes out or something like that. It's not constant. There will be breaks, like when the blood isn't flowing out of you, like when you change your pad, for example, like if you're someone who wears pads, you will see a ton of blood on your pad, but that blood did not all come out at once. It comes out in little spurts. I promise you, you will have time to get in the shower or the bath without it like running all the way down to your legs. And this is actually not the case for everyone, but sometimes your period does stop in the water. I haven't had my period long enough. I mean, okay, I got my first period on November 6th, 2020, and this video will be going up end of October 2021, so it has been almost a year for me, but so far for me, my period has somewhat stopped in the water. And honestly, this might be because of like a time thing, because you're not in the shower that long, but I feel like when I'm just like in the shower, like when water's just like hitting me, my period isn't there. I haven't ever taken a bath on my period, but I do know that when you go swimming, the flow, it just kind of stops. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna look it up right now actually, since I have my computer here with me. Why does your period stop in the water? So Healthline actually says, although it may seem like it, your period doesn't really stop when you're in the water. Instead, if you like notice that your flow has kind of stopped or like been put on hold, you might be experiencing a reduction in flow due to the water pressure. So basically, like when you're in the bath or when you're in a pool, obviously you're surrounded by water. So if there's like water circulating down there, if you know what I'm saying, it's gonna stop the flow momentarily. It's like your period is kind of suspended or like put into slow motion. So that is why the longer you're in the shower or the longer you're in the bath, the more likely that the blood will start flowing out. So when you're in the shower, you don't have to worry about any mess, because most showers or most bathtubs, there's nothing that you can really stain. Obviously showers aren't like fabric. Like, I mean, I guess the shower curtain, but like you're not gonna be bleeding on the shower curtain, if you know what I'm saying. The water will wash it away. It's not gonna be like a constant flow that's like,
oh my god, now it's gonna stain every like part of the shower.
Like, no, even if a little blood does come out of you when you're in the shower, for example, if you like get in the shower and you're like all muddy, or like you're trying to clean yourself off, doesn't all of that just like wash down the drain, like wash away? Like your your blood, it's not as big a deal. Like the water's just gonna treat it like any dirt that comes off of you when you're in the shower. The water will just wash it away, so you really don't have to worry about like staining the shower. The hardest part though, I have tips on this, but I will say it's the hardest part. The hardest part of showering and bathing when you're on your period is coming out of the shower or the bathtub. Getting out of the shower or the bathtub if you have a really heavy flow that day. And also when you're getting in the shower, because obviously when you get in the shower, you're just bare, like you don't have your pad or your tampon on. And it's even worse when you're getting out of the shower or the bathtub, because that flow that has been temporarily put on hold because you're in the water, and the water pressure, all that water pressure is now gone. So the blood's gonna start flowing out again, and you have to get out of the shower, wrap your towel around yourself. And you also can't like put a pad on right away because you have to like dry yourself off and everything like that. It's literally like so stressful in my opinion, because it's literally, if you think about it, a race against time, speed, and gravity. So for time, like if you don't dry yourself off quickly enough, and like if you don't shower like quickly enough, get out of the shower quickly enough, wrap your towel around yourself quickly enough, then you're gonna obviously bleed. And for speed, if you go too fast, it might trigger the blood flow to increase, but if you go too slowly, it might give your blood more time to like leak. And also gravity, like it's honestly depending on the way you're positioned. Like imagine if you were just like carried out of the shower like on the stretcher, then you wouldn't leak, but like since you're standing up when you get out of the shower or the bathtub, it's literally being set up for your blood to leak. And you might not have such a heavy flow that like it'll start like right after you get out of the shower, and especially on like light flow days, you really don't have to worry about this, but this is something to worry about like when you're in the middle of your period. I mean, you can't predict when the blood's gonna just like gush out of you. I mean, it's not that bad. I don't want to scare you. It's definitely something to get used to. Now when I have my period, I mean, I have had my period for almost a year, but I don't even think about my period when I'm in the shower, and it's not that big of a deal once you do it a few times. It's not likely that you're going to leak like the second you get out of the shower, but you should always be prepared. And so that is why we are moving on to now the second part of this video, where I'm going to be giving you 5 tips and tricks for getting out of the shower when you're on your period, or just showering and bathing in general when you're on your period. So the first tip, and this is a huge one, I honestly think I'm giving my best tip first, and that is to have everything that you will need after you get out of the shower next to the shower. Put your pad next to the shower, put your towels next to the shower, put your change of pants or clothes next to the shower, so that it's all there and waiting when you get out of the shower, because you do not want to be walking around your house and your towel after you get out of the shower looking for underwear, looking for a pad, looking for pants, because the longer you're walking around when you're just in a towel, it will leak down your legs if it's like really heavy, or it'll like drop on the floor, like there will be like a blood drop on the floor and it'll look like someone was murdered or something like that. So you want to have everything that you will need right next to the shower. My second tip is to stick an old towel that you don't care about between your legs right as you're getting out of the shower. Pick a specific washcloth that you just like don't care about, or like just buy a black washcloth or like a dark colored washcloth for the purpose of just putting it between your legs in that area, you know what I'm talking about, right before you get into the shower. And then do it every time you're on your period. I mean, like obviously wash the towel, but like every time you're on your period and you're taking a shower, do this if you don't want to leak, and that way it'll become kind of like your washcloth. That way as you're getting out of the shower and like drying yourself off, it's kind of like a pad, because usually, at least for me, when I take a shower, afterwards I wrap myself in a towel for my body and then a towel for my hair. But when you're on your period, add this little extra step right before you get out of the shower, have it waiting like right in the shower with you or right next to the shower. This just really minimizes the fear that you like are worried about leaking onto the floor or like your towel or something like that. My third tip for you guys is to use old or dark colored towels. I feel like when you're on your period, you have your specific period underwear and you have your specific period pants. At least that's how it is for me. I only wear black underwear when I've gotten my period, and I also have 2 pairs of period pants. I have some black period sweatpants, and then I also have some red plaid period sweatpants for obvious reasons. If you are worried about staining your towels when you get out of the shower, it's very important to wear towels that you aren't gonna care about. Like don't use like a nice light pink like fluffy towel that like you really care about when you're getting out of the shower on your period. My 5th tip, and this is honestly a really important tip, and other people might say otherwise, but honestly I would say do not wear a tampon or a menstrual cup when you are in the shower. I mean, you can if you want to, but I want to just tell you it's okay to bleed in the shower. As I was saying earlier, it will just run down the drain. You don't need to worry. You don't need to wear a tampon or a menstrual cup or anything like that when you are in the shower. There is no reason to. It's also really important for cleaning and hygiene. You don't want to constantly be like smothering that area with a tampon or a menstrual cup or a pad. The shower is really the time to like really clean that area. Make sure that the blood isn't like all building up down there. Let yourself kind of like have like space down there for a little while, because if you're like me, you have your period for like around a week, and so you want to make sure that you're really allowing that area to breathe. It's really important, and this is one of the things I just advocate for, and it's really important because I feel like a lot of people in specific areas, and also just people in certain families, like people don't talk about periods that much, but I want to tell you that it's important to not feel afraid to clean that area when you're on your period. It's actually more important if you want to stay clean and fresh and make sure that you don't get like a yeast infection or something like that. You want to make sure that that area is cleaned out of the blood that's like been building up on the tampon or the pad, and any blood that goes on a washcloth or like goes on the shower or the bathtub floor, it'll be washed down the drain, I promise you. And the last tip that I have for you guys, or like the last part of this section where I'm giving you guys the tips and tricks on showering and bathing on your period, is not related to like the struggle, but like honestly just have a nice warm or hot shower or bath when you are on your period, because I've talked about this in my other period videos, but warmth and heat and pressure, it like really helps your cramps or like just the period pain you get in general. For example, if you're in the shower and you're letting like warm to hot water just run down on like your back area or like anywhere where you're having cramps, it will really help. And if you're in the bath, like I always recommend if you have period pains, like period cramps, period back pain, to take a nice warm hot bath, because just being surrounded by warm hot water, it's really gonna help ease like the tension, because like if you didn't know, your uterus is like contracting to get all that blood out when you're on your period. So by really just allowing that whole area to relax, surrounding it by like warmth and heat, it really helps. So for the third and last part of this video, I'm going to be answering some of your guys' questions that you wanted to know about showering and bathing on your period, because I did, as I said at the beginning of this video, put a question box on my Instagram story asking you guys to ask questions for the third part of this video. So I have all your questions on my phone and I'm going to read them right now and answer them and kind of just like see if there's any new questions that I should be answering. So the first question, do people tend to rush more in the shower? So I'm assuming that this person is referring to like when you're on your period, do people tend to rush more in the shower? And honestly, I don't. Maybe some other people do rush in the shower when they're on their period, mainly because I guess they want to get out and like get it done like before they start leaking. I personally don't. I think it's important to like kind of just take that break and like let the nice warm hot water, as I was saying, run over like where I'm having my period pains. So I don't rush, but I totally understand like if you do rush when you're on your period in the shower or the bath. This person's question is, what if some blood comes out in the shower when I get out? So this is like what I was talking about. I was giving tips on like how to minimize the risks of leaking when you're getting out of the shower, but I didn't say anything about like what happens if you actually do leak. So if you're talking about like if it comes out in the shower, as I said, the blood will just, it will flow down the drain. Just turn the shower back on, let the blood just flow down the drain. But if it leaks on the floor or like the bathroom rug or like the shower mat or something as you're getting out of the shower, I actually did a video with my mom where she answers your questions about periods, and one of the questions on that video was how to remove stains like from any fabric when you're on your period. I will link that video right here if you want to go check it out, get some more information on periods. But my mom did give really good advice on like getting stains out of like fabric and everything in that video, so I would recommend go checking that video out, because she's a lot more qualified to talk about like getting blood out of fabric than I am. If it's like the floor, then just like take some soap and like a washcloth, kind of scrub it away. If it's a shower mat, use some like cleanser and like really scrub there to get the stain out. This is a good question. How long does your period start back up when you're in the shower for a long time? When you're in the shower for like over, I would say 15 to 20 minutes, it will start, like it won't like flow out, but you might notice like some just like drops down on the shower floor, a drop or two or something like that. So I would say around 15 to 20 minutes. That's just personal for me though, and it also depends on how heavy your flow is that day. How do you dry your down there area without getting the towel dirty? So I totally understand this, and I understand because like when I first got my period and I like took a shower, when I got out I was like, oh my god, how am I supposed to like dry down there without like ruining the towel, because like there's blood waiting to like go on the pad that I'm about to put on like down there. As I said, use an old washcloth or use an old towel or like a dark colored towel that you don't really care about. But another tip that I actually like just thought of is before you dry yourself like with the towel, use some toilet paper to get rid of the blood that's kind of collected down there and like waiting there, so that you won't stain it on the towel. And then like just put the toilet paper in the toilet and then dry yourself with the towel. Can you take a bath on your period without a tampon? 100% yes. What I thought of, at least like before I like realized that it's not what happens, is like when you get in the bath, if you're taking a bath and not a shower on your period, it's basically gonna look like you put a
red bath bomb into the bathtub.
But that is not the case. As I said, your period blood is not going to flow out that quickly, so it is totally okay, and actually encouraged to take a bath or a shower on your period without wearing a tampon. How do I clean down there when I'm showering? Like, what do I do? I totally understand this. Like when you're on your period, you don't really want to like go near that area, because like, I mean, I've just always been like kind of scared of blood, so you don't really want to like clean that area that well, but it is important to clean that area well. So I would recommend to get an old or dark colored washcloth, or as I said, like a washcloth for this specific purpose, to just kind of clean that area. And if you get some blood on the washcloth when you're cleaning that area, it's no big deal. Can you get your period in the shower or bath and does the water turn red? I mean, it's pretty abnormal. Like if you get in the bathtub and the water like turns red, you might see like a few drops floating around in the water, but it's not that big a deal. And especially like in the shower when there's not like a pool of water, the water is coming out of like the, what is it, like the shower nozzle, so like that water won't turn red. How do you get in the shower without dripping? I would honestly recommend, okay, so you're about to get in the shower is ready for you to get in, and you've taken off your pad or any period hygiene product that you're using, and you're just there ready to get in the shower. What I would recommend is to take some toilet paper and wipe that area really, really, really well so that like any blood that's like waiting to come out will not come out, and then just get in the shower really quickly. So yeah, toilet paper will be your best friend. So yeah, anyway guys, that is it for this video. That was it for your questions. I really hope that this video helped you out and answered some of your questions. I mean, if you clicked on this video, you haven't gotten your period yet, or you have had your period, you're kind of new to having your period, or if you just wanted some more information about the struggle, honestly, of showering and bathing on your period, it's something that's not talked about, just like every other daily activity that you have to struggle through when you're on your period. Something that I honestly feel like you're kind of alone on. Like, before you watch this video, like if you've ever showered or bathed on your period, like it's kind of just like an icky situation. Like you have to really just kind of figure it out along the way. So I really hope that through this video, like if you haven't done that yet, or like if you wanted some more tips on showering and bathing when you're on your period, that this really helped you. Let me know down below in the comments if you want me to make this into kind of like a series, like where I talk about daily activities that are made like so much more complicated when you're on your period. Like if you want me to just talk about it, give tips on it, answer your questions about it, like for example exercising or like sleeping on your period. I actually think those would be some really good video ideas, and I really want to make those, so let me know if you'd be interested in them down below. So yeah, before you leave, please like this video, and if you made it to the end of this video, comment down below period shower, because like honestly I think it's kind of funny because a period shower, like a shower when you're on your period, but also like a
period shower.
And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because as I said, I do so many other period videos, and also as I said, I will link down below some period videos that I've done in the past that I think you might like if you watch this video and you liked it. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching it, and I love you guys. Bye.